Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We are still marching on doing the black-capped chickadee. We had penciled in all of our feathers and we burnt the front ends here like we did the head. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lift all these feathers. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we go. Okay, what I'm going to use this time, this is called a diamond with a safe end. And what we're going to do is I'm going to come up to these feathers with this diamond and just walk around the feather. Okay, and we're going to relieve each one. Now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side and on the other side. And let me start on this side because what I want to do is relieve this, then I'll leave this for you guys to mimic when you go to do that side. So I'm going to just show you one side. So here we go. Hello. Ooh, is that out around? Let's see what I did wrong here. This looks like, there we go. I think this is better. Not quite. Yeah, this is a bent bit, and sometimes that will, you can see it when I go to try to spin it, it's wobbling. So let me find another diamond, and I have a selection of them. So here's a whole bunch of them right here. I'll just grab one more. And that's what you got to watch on diamond, on any of bits. You don't want to get them out of round, and you can hear that vibration like crazy. So here we go. Now that's running nice and smooth and straight. So it doesn't have diamond on the end, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to come in on this grouping right here. There's 5 of them in a row, and it's right off of the mantle. So I'm going to come in. I hope you can see this well. I'm going to keep the bit flat, and I don't care if I lose some of the feathering behind it. I'm trying to raise this feather right here, this one right there. Then I'm going to come down. And I'm just getting it so it's peeking up. It's real small. It's not like I'm really going real deep with this. I'm not. I'm just getting a fine. And the thing is, you want to be able to lay down the bit so you're flattening it. And then this way, as it contours, it keeps on coming down. And you don't want to lift up and try to do it to save with the burning of the feather that's burnt below it or above it or something like that. You want to come right on in and clean that out. And if you lose some of the burn in here, like we did, I'm not worrying about that. Now, I'm going to go into these 3 right in here. So I'm going to undercut this right along here. Then I'm going to come right in here. And actually the burn acts as a stop. Then I'll come from behind here. Lift that. Now, we have a little bit of a up and down right in this area here. So what I'm going to do is just take some of this out to get not a dip in there, but clean it out, sort of flatten it a little bit. And I'm going to do that right in here. I'm not touching the feathers that I just lifted. I'm just trying to smooth this area out. So once I do that, then what I'm going to do is get my pencil and put these in again so that when I go to burn, I do have a definite stop. The burn is acting as like a stop. So I'm going to come back in so I don't forget that. And I'm going to burn these feathers. I hope you can see these. I'm coming in here, and here, and here, there, and there. Now that'll reinforce when I start doing these as I come down. Now, here we go. I'm going to start with this one. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this grouping coming down. Then we'll go to this grouping, which is this one, this one, this one, this one, and we'll take that down, okay? So let me show you how we do that. Remember, this side, this wing is laying on top of this wing here. So we do have to get some lift in here. So what I'm going to do, just to aid myself a little bit, is to undercut all along. Remember that line we had that was all set from the center? I'm just going to come in here and lower that in there. We'll do more, but right now, initially, just to get this thing going. And then I'll come back and reburn where it got lighter on this side. But right now, I'm going to be doing this feather first. So I'm going to undercut this all the way around. So I'm laying this in here. Notice I'm keeping the bit as flat as I can. If you have a real steady hand, you could do this with a diamond bullet if you don't have a safe end. But safe ends will allow you to, I'm just going to flatten that a little bit on top. And then you can clean this out and get it flat. Now, we'll do the second one. So I'm coming around here. And again, I'm not worried about losing the feather below here. If I have to, I'll go back and burn each one of them again if I lose that much. And this is where I jumped off the line. You can see there's a marking right there, but I've just about gotten rid of it. So I think it's out of there, that we don't have to concern ourselves with it. Now I'm undercutting the next one. And I'm not doing this deep. This is not deep at all. I'm coming up to the mantle, but I don't want to go on to the mantle. Okay. And then I'm going to come off and do the next one. Up to this other grouping we did. Then I'll do the next one. And I'm getting not even a 30-second lift. It's really like a 64th, really tiny. Just want enough to get a little bit of a peak. Now, okay. So now we got these lifted, these lifted, these lifted. Now we're going to go to the last grouping down here. So let me clean this last one up here. And then I'm just going to flatten a little bit on this one we're doing. like so. Now I'm going to come in and undercut along here. Come around. If you guys can see all this well. Take that back. Then I'm going to go to the next one. You can see where it gets lighter. It's undercutting along that line. And we go to the next one. And I come around the ends because I want to still drop this down or give the illusion that we're dropping each feather like a step down for each one. Now, as this rolls, you want to keep the bit flat so it looks like it's rounding over, not going in, okay? And I'm going to do one more right here. And you can almost see by the color change what I'm undercutting. And I lay that right on down. And if you get a little, like an edge in there or something, you can just, with a light touch, smooth it out, okay? And don't get real heavy-handed. You really don't want to do that. Now, I'm going to come around on this one. And these safe ends really work out kind of neat. And then we have this one. Hope you guys are seeing this well. This is going to cut right in here. Then we have one more here. It's coming down. And cutting right into there. Okay. And we have them all lifted on one side. Now, if you didn't get them real smooth, I would suggest getting a piece of sandpaper and then coming in and smooth them out. But with the diamond, you could really clean them up. Or if you have, let's see if I have it here, yeah. The diamond bullet, this will get you in there. Like I see a little bit of a little choppiness right in here. So what I could do, because it's really tight, you want to try to get the point in, I'm putting the bullet, which is like a bullet-shaped diamond, and I see a little roughness right in this area. So I just come back and get the point to do some touching up, and then I'm going to check the rest of mine. Here's another one that this edge needs to be lifted a little bit more and smoothed out in spots. Let's see, I'll just check myself out just to make sure. This will just refine anything I may have left a little groove or two from the safe end. And that should do it. Let me clean this up a little bit. Now, I don't know how much if you can see the lift in there. It's kind of hard to see. But you can get your nail in there and you have an edge that it grabs. So that's about how much you need to get in there. Now, what I want to do is you're going to do the same thing on this side. You're doing this grouping first, this second, this group here. Then you're going to do all of these. Now, you can see what I've done here. I'm going to come back and pencil this in because I was undercutting on this side. So I had to drop this side. You could see from about here over, I recessed that slightly because I want these feathers to look like they're rolling under these. So that's the ultimate goal. So I'll pencil all these in, and the same way down here where they turn. And then I'll burn all these in, and with the burning pen, and then I'll start on this side. But for now, I'm going to let you do that off camera, and we'll go and do that on the next video. But what I want to show you now is we have quills. We're going to have a quill here. I'm going to have a quill here, but you're not going to see them here because they're really tucked under. Then down here, you've got a quill, and a quill, and a quill. They're just little lines there. Then you have a quill coming down through here, and then here, here, here. I don't know if you could see that. I'm drifting again. Make these a little heavier. And each one of these has a quill. And on this side, you're not going to see the quill because the quill's really tucked under. Okay, these are on top. Yeah, you will see a partial quill on this one here. And you will see the quill on this one. I hope I got it on that one. Yeah, and you'll see a quill here. And the rest of these, you'll have a quill here, here, and here. And that's it. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to burn these feathers. They're going to be different than how we did the head and how we did the mantle and spots. I'm just looking at some. I missed a couple of spots here. So I'm going to come back in. Just touch him up. Here we go. We're going to do the quills first. So notice I'm just running along the line straight down. 1, 2, and they're all set slightly. Okay. And we got these. Okay. And then we have these up here. Got this, got this. Then we got a little quill in here, and here, and here. Okay, so that's all of the quills. Now, I'm going to start by burning these first that you can see, rather than these. It doesn't matter. The sequence isn't going to be too bad, but you want to do this side first. So here we go. These come in on a 45-degree angle. So let me put this down here. Here's your quill, and they're coming in like this on a 45-degree angle and a 45-degree angle. And that's how you want to do each one, okay? So I'm going to actually burn from the outside in. So I'm going to the edge of the feather. Let me bring this up so you can see it more. I'm going to strike that lift, go right on there, and I'm pulling inward towards the quill. And then I'll go to the other side and I pull in, and I'm trying to keep the lines pretty tight. I hope you guys can see this. And if you miss one, you can go right back over it again. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to depress that rise and fall that we had originally, that we lifted, and it's soften it. So this is going to be softer, and then this inevitably looks a little higher as you come in. And that's why I burn from the outside in on these. So here we go again. Do that. I'll do a couple of these right on down on this side. Then I'll get this one. I'll just do everything on the one side here. And then I'll come down. Everything generally like on a 45-degree angle, but it can vary slightly. And then I do this one. And the idea is try to get them as close as you can so that there's some uniformity within it. Even if you have to go over the same area, just don't feel as though you have to press like hell. You don't. Let the burning pen do the work for you. Okay. Now that's all one side. Now I'm going to do the other side. Now this feather here goes from here all the way up. So I'm going to go on a 45-degree angle. And you're just trying to do that area between the edge of the feather and the feather in front of it. You don't want to go on top of that. So you got to control your burn to where you want to stop. Now, I'm going to go into this area here. Again, always a 45-degree angle. If I leave a little too much spacing between lines, I'll just go back over it again and just rake it. But once you get into a groove, you can almost, well, again, like I said, I make it look easy, but the idea is you want to get pretty close. And again, I make this look easy, and maybe it will be a little hard for some of you, and it may come easy to some of you. So you'll have to practice. I didn't do this overnight. This just didn't happen. So, and the more you have a steadier hand, that helps too, you know. And if you don't, like I showed you when I was burning in the feather outlines, you may want to put this down onto a block of wood or something and then start burning so you can know the depth of cut. But I always have my finger, which you don't really notice, resting on here so I know how deep I'm going. I'm not trying to burn this into tomorrow. I'm not doing that at all. I have my burner at about 5.5 on a setting, and that temperature is not torching this. You can get the ranges on some of these controllers where you can literally start a fire. You don't want it that hot. You're trying to get it just so you can see it's burning an area, but it's not torching everything. And I'm sort of flickering this as I go, okay? So I'm going to do all this grouping coming down. And again, I look at the position, the direction I was burning before from the feather that's on top of it, just to keep me straight. I used to actually mark these out with a pencil, the direction, just a few guidelines, but you can actually mimic what's in front of you here or what's down on this end, and you duplicate it up here. And you want to try to all keep it to the same angle, okay? And that's what I do. And don't get too discouraged if it's fighting you a little bit. Like I said, practice will make perfect. So I often thought there was some magic going on with wood burning, but it is. But you can accomplish this. It's not as hard as it looks, and with the right tips, it makes things a lot easier. Okay, so I've done this grouping here. Now I'm going to jump back to these other ones here. I'm going to come. I got this group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. So I'm going to do that exactly like I did this group right here. I'm going to burn from the outside in. And then we'll go this way. Now I'm trying to keep these in as tight as I can when I do it. Now you have a little bit just sticking out here because you have a quill on the second one, but you won't on the rest of them. So now, and you want to try to keep your pen straight up and down and not do sideways burning. That's the other thing too, so that you get this. And you don't want to drag it so it's going into the mantle neither in this case. Now, all this does not have a quill on the next grouping going down here. So I'm just burning in one direction here. Okay. Like so. And if I missed one, I go back and hit it again. And we do another one. And I hope you can see this well. One thing when you get involved in what you're doing, and I'm trying to photograph this so you can see it, you tend to get distracted and get away from the camera sometime. I try not to do that, but it happens. And I really want you to see all the development of what I'm doing here. Now, these all have quills coming out, so I'm going to do this side first. And you got to really get the tip up to be able to just get some little line work in there. They're really tiny. So on that side, we got them in. Now on this side, again, it's a 45-degree to the quill, up to the mantle, but you don't want to go onto the mantle when you're texturing with the burning pen. That takes care of that. Now, I'm going to go back and do the rest of these. So I did all of these on this side. Now I'm going to do all of them on this side. So I'm coming in. 45 in. One side. And if you have a piece of scrap wood, now look, there's spots I missed here. I'm going to go back and just touch it up. Or rake it a couple times, just nice and easy. You don't have to press too hard to get the markings. And like I said, if you got a scrap of wood, you can practice this. And for some of you, it may come easy. And other ones, you may have to practice a while. But it's not that difficult. The biggest thing I would say is you need something really thin. If you could see the blade on this thing, it's almost like a knife blade, and the markings are going to be really fine, and that's what you're looking for, is that fine line. I have pens that are like pointed, which I call the number 5, the P5. And this will do the exact same thing. It'll do a beautiful line, real fine right in here. And that does a nice job of giving the detailing of the feathering. So it looks like you're getting all the veining for all the feathers. And this gives it that really realistic look. And like I said, we're adding so many feathers in here, but if you actually added another one in this grouping down below here to fill in the space, that's fine, because there's no accurate count that we're trying to do. This is just an illusion of the most prominent ones. And if you really got a bird's wing and opened it up, there would be hundreds of feathers in this area here. So you can see I'm marching down on this now. I'm coming up. I got 3 left here. So I'm going to burn that in. And these get a little tight right in here, but just try to get your point right in between those 2 lifted lines, or feathers, or wing feathers. And just keep in mind what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to detail that one group, that one feather, all the way back to where it butts up to the rest of them here. So, and that's what you're trying to achieve. And you're also want to sort of knock that edge that we have lifted there to soften it. It gives it a softer look. Now I'm going to go back on this one. And again, I hope I'm not drifting off camera. And if you notice, I'm trying to keep these as tight as I can get. Okay. And really gets really tight in here. So you got to get the tip down in there. And for those who may have a wider tip, you may want to angle it up more. This here tends to work out real good for what I'm trying to achieve. This burning unit. This is a P12S. Optima 1 pen. And if anybody needs them, I do carry them. At least I have some of them anyway. I can accommodate you, and they fit a lot of units. Now I got one of the last grouping going down there. So I got this here, a 45-degree angle. Okay. Red one down. All the way around here. And this goes right to the edge of the wing. I'm not doing a wraparound one here. I'm just getting what's flat this way, and I don't want to go onto the belly because we're going to do some lifting under there later, because this wing needs more definition away from the breast, and I will show you how to do that in a little bit here too. Okay, so there's one side done. So I'm going to ask you to come in on this side. You'll have a quill right here. Whoop. Right there. Then you got a quill here. And a quill there. And a little quill here. A quill there. And there. And that's it. You won't see them on this side. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to burn this. And then on the next video, I'm going to show you how we get the tail set up. Excuse me. And we will start texturing the tail on the chickadee. But I want you to finish this side, and then we'll proceed on the next video. And I hope you got something out of this one as well. And if you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, that would be great as well. And if you have, like I said, any friends or somebody that may be interested, put them onto my channel. And I greatly appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next video. And if anybody's interested in maybe getting a blank or a kit or something like that, or the eyes or the feet for the chickadee, I do have them available. Just contact me through my email address. And I thank you very much, and see you on the next video. Bye now.